Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. I'm Fatima Hodge.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. My name is Brother David Hodge.
Welcome. All right, sisters and brothers, today we're going to get started off with identifying the black man and woman of America's experience right here in America. Now, it tells you about our experience in Genesis chapter 15. So we have to understand that the enemy has told you that all you went through was slavery. And this is to hide the fact that they are in fact monsters, sisters and brothers. And the Bible highlights exactly what your experience would be, what God's people's experience would be here in hell, sisters and brothers. Now, slavery is just 1% of our experience, and we must understand that, sisters and brothers. The other 99% of our experience was horror, affliction, 24/7, sisters and brothers. That is our experience here in America. Now we have to understand that the enemy tells you that you just went to slavery just so you don't see them as being exactly who they are, sister brothers, monsters, devils, because their actions proves exactly who they are. And nowhere in the definition of slavery, sisters and brothers, nowhere in that definition of slavery identifies being raped, beaten, tortured, sodomized, hung, burnt alive, sisters and brothers, and the list goes on. None of those describes slavery, right? None of those descriptions are in the definition of slavery, right? Everyone here in America is in fact a slave, right? It's just maximum profit and minimum overhead. You're working basically not what you're worth, right? And they're getting the maximum profit and you're getting the minimum. So nowhere in that definition does it describe exactly what I just shared. Now, horror does definitely describe exactly what I just shared, sisters and brothers. As the scriptures identify, that's what the original nation will go through here in America. Horror. And they tell you that the scriptures are past tense, sisters and brothers. These things are already taking place. So you don't read them as, in fact, a guidance. It's something that's happening right now, right? And this is to keep you outside of reality, sisters and brothers. Because we know that the scriptures is in fact a guidance, sisters and brothers. And it's telling you things, sisters and brothers, telling you exactly what will happen to you. It tells you exactly who you are, sisters and brothers. This is exactly why they don't want you to know these things. Because they want to keep you in their control, sisters and brothers. Because that's where their power lies, sisters and brothers. You have to understand that. The control of us, sisters and brothers. Now, we have to understand that we were brought here to this land in 1555. Taken from our land and brought to this land. which would make this land a strange land to us, right? As the scriptures identifies. It also shares, well, I want to read the scripture. It shares that when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. So Abram saw a vision of horror, right? That was on his people, right? That's exactly what he's seeing. That's exactly what took place, right? And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be sojourners in a land that is not theirs, right? So like I said, we were taken from our land, brought to this land, a land that is not ours, right? So we are, in fact, in a land that is not ours. And you have people telling you that this is our land. We're taking this land back. But the scriptures identifies that this is not our land, right? We're in a strange land, sisters and brothers. A land that is not theirs. And we'll be sojourners in this land, as it says as well. Meaning we'll be temporarily in this land. Not forever, sisters and brothers. So, any of those people that are telling you that this is your land, and you're not going anywhere, they are in fact your enemies, sisters and brothers, because the scripture tells you that you are going somewhere and that this is not your land, right? So they are in fact your enemies, sisters and brothers, because you'd be a fool. They say you'll be a fool to want to stay in the land of your imprisonment, sisters and brothers. But this is what they tell you, that you're not going anywhere, right? And that your heaven is somewhere where you go when you die, right? So you think that this is what it is. This is forever, right? You'll be here. But the scripture doesn't say that. It tells you that he will be sojourners in a land that is not theirs, right? Meaning we won't be here forever. But that's the mindset that they have our nation in. That this is it, right? And when we die, that's when we finally receive heaven, right? And this is all to keep you out of reality, sisters and brothers. Because reality is that heaven is a place here on earth. Hell is a place here on earth, sisters and brothers. And the white man's heaven is the black man's hell. And that's exactly where we are, sisters and brothers, in hell. A land that is not ours. This is the white man's heaven. Sisters and brothers, the white man's reality. This is their heaven. And we're in it, which is our hell, sisters and brothers. So understanding that these things are physical. Everything is physical. Nothing's spooky, sisters and brothers. We have to get back to reality, which they've taken you from, to deceive you. All right, sure, and they shall serve them, and they shall afflict them. Sisters and brothers, what does that mean? It said they shall serve them, right? They identified two different things here, sisters and brothers, as I stated earlier. Slavery was 1% of our experience, right? And that is identifying that serve, as serving them, right? They shall serve them, right? But that's the only thing that they talk about, the serving part. They don't highlight that it says that they shall afflict them, sisters and brothers. The affliction, which was horror, sisters and brothers. The other 99% of our experience, which is horror, sisters and brothers, affliction. They afflicted our nation, not just served us, but they would afflict us, right? And they say after 400 years of us being here, 400 years, and also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, right? So now it says after the 400 years of us being here in hell, will I judge that nation whom they serve, sisters and brothers. So we have to understand that our servitude started, in fact, in 1619. We were brought here in 1555, sisters and brothers. However, it took them 64 years to turn us into slaves, right? All right, so our servitude officially started in 1619. 1619 to 2019 brings you to 400 years. And this year, after that 400 years, will I judge those who afflicted, and afterwards, excuse me, brothers, and also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, right? And that's exactly what took place, sisters and brothers. 2020 began straight with their judgment, and that's a day that a lot of people will never forget, because they shut down their whole economy because of this, because they were dying, right? Why were they dying? Because of this virus, sisters and brothers, COVID-19, right? He said in Exodus, it tells you that a plague will take place, and it'll pass over you, right? Those with the lamb's blood, right? And that's exactly what it did, sisters and brothers. But it killed them. And that plague was to kill them, sisters and brothers. We have to understand that. And that's exactly what took place. Scriptures, we live in our scriptures. That was their judgment beginning. It was a sign that their judgment has begun, sisters and brothers. But they couldn't have that narrative that the black man and woman were not dying, just them. So they made sure that you were also affected by this. You couldn't go to work, you couldn't get on planes, you couldn't go into stores, any of these things without getting that vaccination. And that is because they wanted to make sure that you also were affected by this virus, sisters and brothers. So the scriptures tell you that they will reach out from their grave and take you down with them, because they know that their time is near, right? They know that they're dying, right? And that's exactly what they did at that moment. They made sure that you were going to perish right along with them. They couldn't have that if they were the only ones dying. Black Africa wasn't dying either, sisters and brothers. So they went over there and gave them that, like I said, that shot, sisters and brothers, which caused people to be affected at that point, right? So we have to understand the plans of our enemies, sisters and brothers. Their plan is for our destruction, and has been that way since we've gotten here, sisters and brothers. They hate you, which is why they've changed you, sisters and brothers. And someone who changes you hates you, right? And that's exactly what they did to our nation. On top of them trying to wipe out our nation through genocide. So we have to understand that the black woman kept our nation alive, sisters and brothers, because their attempt was to kill all the male babies, right? Kill all of our male babies to make sure that we did not produce with our men. And spare the women, right? As Exodus explains as well. And that was the attempt to commit genocide and wipe us out completely. But due to the black woman and her strength, our nation is still here today. Because without the black woman, we wouldn't be here, right? She's the one that gives, birth to children, right? So that means that she had to risk her life during that time to produce with our men, right? With our nation. And the results are here today, because half of the black nation are, in fact, original sisters and brothers. And the other half is the signs and results of their act of genocide that they tried to commit on our nation. It's a whole hybrid nation that looks like us, that talks like us, but they're not us, sisters and brothers. They're actually master seed from the rape of the black woman, attempting to commit genocide on our nation to wipe us out. So, in results, we have a whole hybrid nation. Half of the blacks are their children. And they don't even know that they're Caucasians, right? In black skin. Because Master don't claim them, right? And they're surrounded around us. We have to understand that they act just like their fathers, right? They want to be just like their fathers. And during that time, they were identified as house Negroes. However, and they were in Master's house, right? And that's another identification of them because today that's exactly where they are, right? In Master's house. Nothing has changed, just the times have changed, and they're the celebrities. They're the influencers. They're the ones who are playing the sports. They're the ones who are in your movies that you're watching, television. Sisters and brothers, the house Negroes, exactly how they were when we were in chains, right? We were looking up to them. They had better clothes than us, right? And today they have exactly what's taking place. They had clothes, shoes. We didn't have all those things. That's exactly what's happening right now. I mean, we have clothes and shoes and cars. We don't have the best like they have, right? So nothing has changed. It's just the time has changed, right? So the house Negroes are still, getting that better treatment than we, the field Negroes, received, sisters and brothers. So we have to understand that they act just like their fathers. And a lot of them are surrounded by us. So they're corrupting our body. And that was the attempt to produce them as well, to corrupt our body, right? They're like cancer cells. And cancer cells resembles the other cells in the body, which is why it's so hard to get rid of cancer, because the cancer cells resembles the other cells, so it's hard to detect them and to get rid of them, right? So that's exactly what's going on with these Caucasians in black skin, wolves in sheep's clothing, sisters and brother. They look like us, but they are not us. And they're surrounding us, corrupting our bodies, sisters and brothers. So we have to understand that we have a whole hibernation that's surrounding us, right? And like I shared, the black woman, due to the black woman's strength, our nation is still here today, right? Because it's another thing they attempted to do when they trying to wipe out that seed, was wipe out that seed, because the Messiah, they knew that he will be born from that seed, right? So they were trying to wipe us out, sisters and brothers, to make sure the Messiah was never born, right? They were not successful because we're here today, sisters and brothers, fulfilling our vision, sisters and brothers, which is in fact the Abrahamic covenant. It tells you that we will come out of this land, sisters and brothers, like it, and that also it said afterwards they shall come out, and they're telling you you're not going anywhere, right? We're taking over America. Anyone speaking in those terms are your enemies, sisters and brothers, because this is not our land. We're not taking over America. Scripture also identifies that America is going to be destroyed, right? And it tells you exactly where our land is, sisters and brothers, which is Arabia, the promised land, sisters and brothers. That is where your heaven is. Not here in America, sisters and brothers, Arabia, right? That is in fact your vision.
Exactly, brothers and sisters. As it shares here in Genesis chapter 15, verse 18, it says, "In that day, God made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates." And between these two coordinates is exactly the land the sister identified, which is Arabia, which is the best part of the planet Earth. And we are here, in the worst part of the planet Earth, which is hell for the black man and woman of America. And not only is it hell, it's the fact that the land is stripped of its natural resources. This land, the topsoil, has been stripped it's worthless. So whenever you think you're receiving something, you're getting a piece of land, and you think you're doing well in life, well, they only give you something when it means nothing. That's why I said, why do you love the devil? Because it gives you nothing. So now this little land you got to go get topsoil. You got to get organic matter to fertilize and enrich your land now, right? Because they sucked it dry. You see, and that's only why they gave it to you because it's worth jack. So, as the sister identified, there is. I mean, this is not your land. That's the demons talking like that because they were produced here, so they feel as if this is their land. That's because their fathers are in charge of this land, and they're directly connected to their fathers. Even though, like the sister shared, their fathers don't claim them, but they still feel that ownership of being in control, even though they don't have it yet. So they're desperate for that feeling of being just like their fathers, being in control. See, to kill, steal, and destroy. Steal. So they're trying to make something theirs, just like their devil fathers. They have the same behavior because they come directly from the seed of the devil. So they act in the same manner as their devil fathers. So they want to possess this land. They don't want to go anywhere. They don't want complete separation. They definitely don't want to go with us. You see, because they're not of us. Their ways are contrary from ours. You see? So we really don't get along. We just, everyone's pretending, right? And in order to pretend, you have to do what they want you to do. You have to do the activities that they enjoy. Smoking, drinking, hanging out, kicking it, going to concerts, going to see, like watching their television, watching their sports, doing all these things that they enjoy, talking about nonsense, stuff that don't mean anything, stuff that you don't really care about, but you have to learn to care about to fit in. Wearing their shoes, their clothes, trying to go bankrupt to fit in with these demons. You see, and you feel it. You feel that you don't fit in. But some of us have been around this so long that we've become pretty good at it, even though it's tearing you apart. It has you stressed out. You see, these things have us going against ourselves totally. You see, so you're wearing yourself out trying to keep up with these demons, like the sister shared, and they're infested, and it has embedded and infected our nation. Cancer, you see, resemble us, wolves, in sheep clothing, but they're not us. So they're doing damage. They're manipulating, misusing, misguiding, confusing our nation, keeping us within that programming, keeping you from finding out your vision. Arabia. They said a people without a vision would perish. So if these demons were truly of us, would they be giving you that vision? Would they be telling you about what God has planned for you? What he has in store for you? When they be telling you about Genesis chapter 15, verse 18? When they be telling you about the horror, Abram's horror, that you fit the description of? Huh? Why don't they tell you these things? Because as we explained, they ain't enemies. They're massive black-faced children, Caucasians in black skin. It's because these things don't extend to them. Because they're not the true seed Abraham. They're the devil's seed. So these things don't benefit them. And it's their destruction. So they're not preaching things that they don't want. They want America. They want Arabia. They want to stay here in their heaven. You see? This is where they want to be. With the devil fathers. Loving America. Loving their ways. Loving everything about the devil. You see? Backing him up. Giving him excuses. You see, they don't want to talk about what happened to us. Let's just move forward. Let's get out of here. Let's stop thinking about that. We need to heal from these things. We need to focus on moving forward so we can heal as a people and we can start to benefit now from what we can do now here and what's being allowed. So we can fit right on in. You see, so we can all be one big family. You see? And that's their trick. That's their trick. To bring in their demons to manipulate and confuse you. You see? Just like it says here in 2 Thessalonians 2. It says, let no one deceive you by any means, for the day will not come unless the falling away comes first, and the man of sin is revealed. The son of perdition, which means the son of hell. See? The devil's seed, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he sits as God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And this speaks about demon, the chief demon, Louis Farrakhan, the one who has deceived our nation, deceived our brothers and sisters. Because, in fact, he's telling you the opposite. He's telling you that the man of sin is revealed, that he's revealing it. And now the falling away is taking place. Now they're falling from him. They don't want to do it. You see, they're falling away from him because he's revealing the man of sin. But it says, don't be deceived. It said the falling away would take place first. Then the man of sin would be revealed. Which means when it says the falling away take place, that means when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad departed in 1975, and the nation was beheaded, meaning there was no leadership. And then it said the man of sin would be revealed, meaning the one who did it, the person who was in cahoots, the person who was at fault for why this took place. The fault, you see, the fault causer, right? The person who orchestrated this deal, right? Which is Louis Farrakhan, son of a devil. Percival Clark, that's his father, a Caucasian man. What is it called? I can't even think of.
Portuguese.
Yes, man, Portuguese Jew. So he is our enemy, and he is the face and the representation of a black. I can't even get the words right. He's over the black organization. It's supposed to help black people be free of the devil. Learn how to produce for ourselves and stop depending on the economic system of the devil. But he's now doing it the opposite. That's how you know who, when they say the man of sin revealed, that's how you know. Because he fits the description to a T of what they was trying to do, because the Nation of Islam was getting too powerful. What was set up was for blacks to unify, do for self, gain that power, gain that discipline, get away from the devil, start doing things for themselves, become producers, and then complete separation. You see? So they had a counter intelligence program to stop all these things. Get rid of what he set up. Eliminate all his everything that was attached. Farms, grocery stores, printing shops, things of that nature, right? Things that we produced to keep us from having to work for the devil, keep us away from them. You see, restaurants, bakeries, stores, farms, banks, trading, all these things were set up. Complexes, we had all these things. Banks, loans, we didn't have to depend on the devils. But now here come the man of sin, the devil's black-faced child, to turn the nation of Islam backwards, to make you love devils. You see? Devils ain't devils no more. See? We ain't going nowhere. Calling God a liar. Even though it clearly tell you that we're leaving. It says that we're getting out of here and we're going back home to our fathers in peace. That we leave out of here with great substance. You see? All these things. They need to tell you exactly where we're going. But he's telling you that that's outdated. That was for a different time. And this is what it is now. You see? Which he shows himself as a direct enemy. Because that's not what the Messiah will be preaching. The Messiah will be preaching the covenant, which would make him the messenger of the covenant. But Farrakhan don't speak about the covenant. They go nowhere near it. And why is that? Because they don't believe in it. Because they don't want to go. They don't want to leave America. Like I explained, this is where they want to be. That's what it shares. Stop tormenting me. Stop doing all these things. Stop exposing who I am. It says they didn't want to leave. We wanted to go, and they didn't. They refused to go, and they want to stay here with their swine daddies. Here. They didn't want to leave because this is their heaven. Mm-hmm. And that's like the sister shared. A black man, what she said, a white man heaven is a black man's hell. It's the opposite. So a black man heaven is a white man's hell, which is their devil, right? So demons are an extension of that. So our heaven is their hell as well. Right. So they don't want to go to hell. I want to stay right here in heaven, where everything's good. You see? Where everything is just the way I like it. Like you said, they don't want to change anything. If you love something, you keep it the same. So they don't want to change. I want to go there. I want to no goddamn sand. I want to go to the land that it's not for me. These things are not for me. This here in America, this good old land, that's ours. We taking over. You see? Demon vision. Making things, putting more color on America. Making America great again. You see, that's how they think. We're going to put our spin on it. You see? We're going to put our attributes on it. We're going to do our thing here. And we're going to take over America. That's what they want. Because they put more flavor in it. You see? Because they got a little bit of us in them, right? So they want to change the fabric. They want to change the fabric of America. Because they still got that in them. They still got a little bit of us in them. Chromosome, right? They might not be original. But that's why it says they blend right in, right? Act like us, talk like us, walk like us, but they're not us. You see? And that's a problem for the devils. Because devils they don't like that. They don't want that. Because they're 100% devil. They like the way devil land is. You see? Now, the demons, they enjoy devil land. But every now and then they want to put their own flavor and spin on it. You see, that's the problem. And that's why Master don't like them. Master don't like you. You see? He despises you. Because you still look like us. That's why he threw you on us. Threw us in a ditch and threw you right on top of us. And never claimed you. So for so-called Father's Day, well, you couldn't be thankful for your father, could you? Because he never claimed you. You see? So he deadbeat. And still is to this day. Never claimed you, never will. He don't like you. And now you blame us. And that's another reason why the demon's so furious and angry with us. Because they look like us. So now they blame us. You blame us for something your father did. Ain't that backwards? That's crazy thinking. You mad because your father hates you because you look like us. Woo! See, that's the definition of insane. You should be mad at him. You see? But then again, maybe you can be thankful. You see? Because without him, you wouldn't be here. And maybe you should be more thankful to the black woman. But you don't understand her, right? Because she's different than you. But without her, you wouldn't be alive either. You see what I'm saying? So you're really in a position, hard position in life. You need to be thankful and more grateful and more, what they call these words, more humble. Or you really don't have any room to move. You're like you're in a tough place. You're like a rock in a hard place. You don't know what to do in life. Because your very existence, the way you was brought up, it should never happen. You see? Demons, there's nothing good about you. There's nothing good about what you came from. You know what I'm saying? The reason why you were produced was to destroy us. That's what I'm trying to get at. They didn't give you life so you can live good and live above the means that they set for you. They didn't intend on you to give you a place on the throne. You understand? They used you as leverage to destroy our nation and to sneak their way into heaven. If all things fail, then they get into heaven another way. You see, because if hell's coming, they like Sister said, they knew about scripture. They knew these things. They knew what would take place. So if all would fail, this would be the attempt to sneak into heaven. You see, because you had to be black to get there, right? So that was their attempt to infest us with demons, to not only corrupt, but to sneak, steal, kill, and destroy again. You see, thinking they can get their way there and corrupt that over there and make that into hell. You see, but we got a plan for that. You see, our lives are the best of planners. You see, so they plan. They said we had the best of plans. So we already got a heads up and advantage on everything that y'all think we don't. You see, we're 10 steps ahead of you. We got it down packed. You know, so either way it go, these demons are your hidden enemy, and you can't trust them. Like shit, they're not telling you about the Abraham covenant. They're not telling you we're leaving. They're telling you devils ain't devils. They're telling you that nothing. You should forget about the Holocaust. You forget about what happened to you. Don't worry about that. Let go, let God.
Right. Pastors and preachers.
Right.
All these leaders, they're all demons.
Exactly.
And that's what we're focused on, sisters and brothers. Because they're the ones that are guiding you. The influencers.
Right.
They're the ones that has influence on you. Which is why they put them in these high positions. Pastors and preachers. And as Farrakhan is, he is over the Nation of Islam. Martin Luther King, all these people, right? These leaders, they're all the devil's children. And they all they in there for those positions all to rob you.
Yeah.
Right? Because they got to get their heaven somewhere. Daddy's not giving it to them. So they're going to rob you.
Right.
All they do, they're just like their father to kill, steal, and destroy.
Right.
So their tactic is to rob you.
Exactly. Can't produce nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They got to take it from somebody.
Perfect, because I look like these people. So
right. They believe what I'm saying.
Rob you. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's mass. He's what do you call that word? He blend right in, right? Like I said, one drip of black blood make you black. We know that's not a fact. You see, it says the father carried the seed, so he's the son of the devil, but he looked like us. So you have a Caucasian man in black skin running the Nation of Islam, which means that he was in the favor of Massa. He's pushing Massa's agenda because he wouldn't be in favor of blacks. You see, because if he was, he'd be walking and talking like that. He'd be talking about complete separation. He'd be calling devils devils. He wouldn't be letting devils in the mosque. It wouldn't be mosques. They'd be temples. You see, and we wouldn't be pushing no L. Ron Hubbard. You see, we wouldn't be pushing no Dianetics. Scientology. We pushing straight Islam. You see? Because Islam is mathematics and mathematics is Islam. See? That's what we believe in. Facts. Truth. Mathematics. You see? Which is how the world revolves around mathematics. That's what it is. That's our reality. You see? Reality. They want you in la la land. You see? They want you out of touch with it. That way, like the sister said, that way you can't connect what's taking place. That way you don't realize they're living out scripture. They blindside you. Yeah. And that's that thing, that rubber rabbit. Keep you chasing that dream, that rubber rabbit. Got you running around that track, hoping you never snatch it. Because once you snatch it, you get the chewing on it and you realize it's rubber. It's fake. That's what this whole reality is. And they'll never get you to be able to run that race again. You see? And that's what they want. They want people like us helping you make sure you catch it. So you can realize what's going on. You start looking around, you identify, start putting a name to stuff. Realizing demons are physical people. You see? Half devil, half man. Blacks on the outside, devil on the inside. From the rape of the black woman. Devils is the ones who brought you here. Took you from your land. Stripped you everything. Took your names, your culture, your religion, everything. And inflicted horror on you for 400 years. Servitude and affliction. See? That was them. The devils. Start putting face to things. Now you're no longer being psychologically terrorized by hell in heaven, which don't exist when you die. It's right here on earth. And we're in hell. You see? So you have to worry about dying and going somewhere worse than this. This is as worse as it gets. There's no place worse than this, brothers and sisters, for a black man. Original black man and black woman. This is your hell. So you don't have to be frightened. And that's what they utilize those tactics to engulf and enslave you with fear, to keep you a slave all your life. Instead that the truth shall set you free. So they tell you lies to keep you in bondage. You see? That's what they want for you. Destruction. Keep you miserable. Because that's how their system thrive. And in the midst of keeping you miserable, they're moving along with their plan to destroy you. That's what the damn jail system, the prison system, keep us from reproducing. Sterilization, birth control. That's what they're keeping our black women from producing. They're trying to eliminate you. You see? Because they're afraid of you. They're afraid that you might rise up one day and attack them. You see? Vengeance, wrath. That's what they're scared of. Scared of you. See? Said, come let us deal shrewdly with them, lest they multiply. See, they're scared of you. Scared that you multiply. Scared that the consequence get bigger. You see? What do you mean by shrewdly? In a way that you don't see coming. Like the sister shared. They might not be doing things the way that they used to. It's hidden now. You see, it's more up to date, more modern. That's what they're doing. In a way you don't see coming. You see, putting it in, poisoning our food. You see, taking stuff out of your food, the vitamins and minerals and things you need to make your body strong and to make it function properly, right? You know, to make you deficient, make you weak. You see, putting liquor stores and drugs on your corners. You know, you see, poisoning you, putting you in harsh environments. Like I said, slaughterhouses, Planned Parenthood to strip and rip your babies out. You see, the depopulation. Putting prisons in place to destroy our nation, to keep us from reproducing, turn our men homosexual, you see, to destroy our families, destroy our unity. You see, that's what you see. So they feared these things. So they planned, because like the sister shared, they know we living out scripture. And they was afraid that we multiply. They was afraid we'd break out and we'd join our enemies, join their enemies in war. And lead this land. They don't want you going anywhere. You see? They want you right here as a hostage. Yeah, we got your people. You see? And what you going to do about it? Now, we about to rewrite this thing. You see? But it's not really rewriting. It's the way they see it. That's the thing that people have to come to understand. It's not, they're not even built like that. You see? Like, they created something. That's why I don't read that, because that's the white man. White men ain't did nothing.
Written by man.
We wrote that stuff. We prepared these things. We gave them that book. We gave it to them because we for the time, we needed a civilization. We had to, because we were suffering from energy deprivation. You see? So we needed to give them this book of guidance so they can have a civilization for us, because we didn't have the energy to do it. So they would have to do it. So we knew what we was getting ourselves into in that manner, right? Because we still need to survive. You still need water. But dirty water is better than no water. That was the point. You see? So the devil ain't did nothing. We gave the devil everything, and we laid it out for him. We the one showed him how to do everything. You see? We the one turned them into producers. You see? Because they don't. Only thing they can do, they can't come up with anything. They're not the creative agents.
You're the blueprint.
Yeah. They can just they're just technical. Once you give them the blueprint, now they can do whatever it say. Okay, yeah. So you had to be led. That's why for 5,500 years they were horse and buggy until we showed up. The next thing you got computers, planes, cars, this, that, satellites. Ooh, wow, music, everything. You see? Because we are the creators. We are the inventors. Nothing else comes out of nowhere else but here. You see? Why? Because we're here. You see? So yeah, they got you hostage. Back to that hostage situation, right? Because we are the right. We're everything that's going on in America. We don't know it. Everything is centered around you. But like I said, they got to go with their plan, because the plan we got a plan. They got a plan. So don't stop their plan, because their plan is to stay alive. Like I said, you said that. Mm-hmm. It's about self-preservation.
To keep their reality.
They kind of keep their reality alive, keep their heaven going. They don't want to see hell coming. So guess what they do? Now they got they got a real true seed of Abraham now, because couldn't be you niggas. You see? So guess what they did? In 1948, they placed false Israel in Palestine to counter your claim as being the true seed of Abraham. You see? I got a plan for that. Because it said we was cursing God's people. Oh, we can't be cursed. So guess what we do? We make a people that's God's people, and we bless them. And it said now we blessed. You see, they changed the narrative. And that's the way they see it. Now they justify cursing you. See? That's what they did. But we know the Injil, which is Revelations, it tells us exactly who these individuals that's claiming to be us are. It says Satan will masquerade as the angel of light, claiming to be the true seed of Abraham. Well, ain't this who these individuals are? Which is, you see the star of David? That's false Israel. The Antichrist. The one that's against God. You see? So they're not God's people. They're not the true seed of Abraham. It tells you exactly who they are. It says that's Satan. It's right here. Verse 9, both chapters, 2 and 3. It says, look, see, pay attention. I'm giving out a synagogue of the Satan, of the ones saying themselves Jews to be, and not they are, but they are lying. Right? Then it comes back and says, in the blasphemy, which is a lie, are the ones saying Jews to be themselves, and not they are, but synagogue of the Satan. So the Jews, right? False Israel. It says the one claiming to be Jews. There's Satan. It says the one who has synagogues. There's Satan. There's synagogue of the Satan. It says the blasphemy. See, which means to destroy someone's good reputation, slander, to butcher your image. That's what they're doing. They're painting our image. They're the ones in control of Hollywood. They're the ones in control of television, radio, music, mainstream media. They're the ones pushing. They're the ones in control of the American dream and what you see and hear and feel. They're controlling you, and they're the ones pushing our image, destroying our image, making us into things that we're not, making up the stereotype of black people. Black people are this, black people are that, thugs, hoes, pimps, bad individuals, criminals, cowards, punks, murderers, this, that. You see, drug dealers, this, that. So we got their pens down, always in jail, this and this. You see, they're painting that narrative. Why? You see? And that's blasphemy. They're lying. They're lying on us to successfully continue to steal our image. And that way, no one ever, like I said, can't get you to keep where you don't see what's going on. They can't allow you to see and other people to see that you are the true seed of Abraham. They can't get people to realize that. You see, the main part is they can't get you to realize who you are, because that means you start to identify what's going on. It'll keep you blind, right? So their job is to destroy that image of you. They wouldn't want to believe that you are true city of him. Look how them niggas act. They're savages. They're fools. They're worthless. They're useless. They're a bunch of consumers. They couldn't have been God. They're not God. They're not of God's seed. Look, they're savages. They're beasts. They're monsters. They're this, they're that. See, they're trying to paint that negative image of you. Why? Because just like what you see going on in the Middle East, you see you're witnessing a genocide, right? And they're trying to get you immune to that genocide, right? So when they initiate our genocide and on top of your image, who gives a damn? You see? You're like a person that might gives a damn about. Well, good. You see? Well, we got rid of that. They was worthless anyway. They did no good. See? So now it kills the remorse. It kills that remorse that people have for you. Sadness or wrong. That was wrong. Well, they had an agreement because the niggas wasn't doing nothing anyway. You see? It's all part of their plan to destroy you. But like I said, let's just say you don't even realize it. Because why? Because these demons, you see, which he's an extension of this synagogue of the Satan. His father's a Portuguese Jew. You see? So he is one of them. He's part of that image, ruining your image. He the one got you going backwards, loving devils, loving your enemies, praying with your enemies, even though prayers don't work, telling you bad information, giving you bad information so you don't do better. Say you know better, you do better. So he give you bad information so you make bad calculations. It's all about calculating. It's about thinking. You see, that's what they're doing. They give you head. They give you Jesus. See, keep you from thinking.
Say that you're sinful.
Exactly. Even though you said you blessed. So those who keep their white garments is blessed. You see, meaning you're still in the authority and right, you're still in the bondage of the devils. You see, they said those are the ones who blessed. And last time I checked, we're still a nation within a nation. We're still here and enslaved in a land that's not ours. So we are the blessed ones. See? But he's here to tell you otherwise. He's here to tell you that you're nothing. You're worthless. You're ugly. You're this. You're that. You see? You possibly couldn't have been God's people. You're wicked and sinful. You see, you need to repent. You need to atone. You see? The accuser of our brother. See? So be cast down. Be out of here. You see? And that's exactly what's in store for him. That's why he was disemboweled. See, with a visible flame for all eyes to see. To show that because he robbed God and his nation. And he stopped us from moving forward into the next reality. A smooth transition. See? He was the one blocking our people and stopping our rise. We was halfway rose up. And we waiting on the message of the covenant. Then you had somebody come in between the message of the covenant and destroyed everything. Turned everything backwards. Ruined everything that was set up for us to lift on the hell up out of here. So we have a smooth transition on out of here to heaven. See, but he wants you to rock and roll to hell. That's what he wanted. Because it's his heaven. And he's doing what his soul desires. To go against you. You see? Because it's his nature. To go against you totally. You see? But that don't mean there's no consequence for that. No one's exempt from consequence. That's why, like I said, he's disemboweled. Exactly. Yeah, because you still get consequence for doing things. You don't get exempt because you're a devil in black skin. You don't get I'm a devil, I get the exempt. That means you're exceeding the hell out of your limits, though, because you still get a certain amount of energy and certain things you still ain't supposed to do. Because they say, don't do these, don't do that, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. Why? Because you playing around with something you don't understand. You got a gadget, cool little gadget. You got a bunch of cool little gadgets. But them gadgets, when they turn on, they gonna slice you up. So you think you good. I got all these gadgets, all these precious jewels and all these great things. But the people you hold on to is dangerous. You hold on to bombs, literally. You see? You don't even realize you got to blow your ass up. That's why I said don't do this, don't do that. Don't touch my people, don't do this. You about to be, it said don't do it or you surely die. That's why he said he was cursed. You see? He was cursed from robbing God and his nation. Disemboweled, which no man on this earth would sign up for that. Who would sign up for that? I'm gonna give a damn how much money you gave me. I'm gonna give how much assets and things you give me. You could mess me up like that. He said black man's heaven is the black woman. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't even enjoy your woman.
Right.
Now you can't even enjoy heaven. It means you're in total hell. Your reproduction system's all messed up, and you can't even be intimate with your heaven. Boy, you toe up. That's a curse. It said that God never cursed any of his messengers or prophets, which is another identification that he's no good. You see?
Exactly, sisters and brothers. Farrakhan is in fact the enemy to our nation. And all those pastors and preachers that are out there robbing you, telling you, not telling you about the Abrahamic covenant. If they're not telling you about the Abrahamic covenant, sisters and brothers, they are your enemies. Period. They are your enemies because those people who claim to be beacon lights for you, that's the light that they should be shining on you. Your vision, sisters and brothers. So anyone that is not telling you your vision are out to deceive you, sisters and brothers. And it shares, do not be deceived, sisters and brothers. Do not be deceived because they are out here to destroy us, sisters and brothers. So you have a lot of people who are pastors and preachers and things like that who are out here to have you destroyed, sisters and brothers, robbing you, deceiving you. And soon that's going to come to a screeching halt, sisters and brothers. And that is going to be, when this the shock of the hour, because we have to understand that this nation right here, false Israel, who claims to be who we are, they're going to be destroyed. And they're that nation who's keeping America dream running, right? Keeping it thriving, keeping it going, keeping it pumping. When they're destroyed, that we will no longer have that distraction, right? We will no longer be paying attention to these pastors, these preachers, right? We will no longer be in control, having to get to work, having going on vacation, all these things that you're focused on right now, you will no longer be focused on, because we have to understand that when this event takes place, as you see right now, the war in the Middle East is happening right now with false Israel, right? And it shares that Michael and his angels go to war with the dragon and his angels, right? Excuse me. Right here in Revelations chapter 12, it tells you that Michael and his angels go to war with the dragon and his angels, right? And that's exactly what you see right now taking place, right? And false Israel, and results, false Israel is going to be destroyed due to this, right? And we have to understand that the dragon and his angels is the house of side, false Israel, America, and Britain. So we're all going to be affected by this? Is that America and Britain are also his angels, right? And they're going to be destroyed. Michael and his angels, they'll be defeated by Michael and his angels, which are God, Iran, and Syria. They're going to be defeated. So that means that when false Israel goes down, what does that mean for America? That means America is going to be affected as well. And we have to understand that oil that they need will be cut off when this event takes place, right? America needs to fuel their economy. That's going to be cut, right? And we have to understand that it says here in the scripture that men's hearts will fail from fear for what's to come, right? For looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. So that right now, people are seeing exactly what's happening, right? And it's going to get worse. And they're going to eventually come to the conclusion that false Israel is going down. Because in Brother Soda said before the event happens. So their hearts are going to be failing from fear. Because, like I shared, America is also going to be affected by this, sisters and brothers. We have to understand that means a total economic collapse here in America. So time like no other, unprecedented times is what we're approaching, sisters and brothers. And these pastors and preachers, Farrakhan, all these people are misleading you, not preparing you. They're misleading you. So you have to understand that these are your enemies, sisters and brothers. They will be preparing you for this day because it said it's going to be unprecedented, sisters and brothers. A time like no other, worse than our Holocaust, sisters and brothers. A time like no other, a time that we don't know, we can't even describe because we have never experienced it, sisters and brothers. Which is why the scriptures gave you an idea of how this day will look, sisters and brothers. It tells you that people's hearts will fail. them, right? It's telling you that people will be eating their own babies, their own placenta. It tells you that the flesh, they're eating the flesh of their own children, sisters and brothers, sons and daughters. This is telling you exactly what you're about to see in this day, because it says going not only economic collapse, it's also going to be a famine. Sisters and brothers, America has never went without food. Never. And these pastors and preaching and people that's supposed to be your lights are not preparing you for this day, sisters and brothers. They're preparing you for your destruction, because they're telling you that you're staying here in America. And America's, look what's coming to America. And America's going to be destroyed as well. And they tell you to stock up on food, all these things. That's not what's going to save you, sisters and brothers. At that point, it's going to make you a target. Because people are going to be looking for food. Sisters and brothers, going to be no food, sisters and brothers. People are going to be to the point where they're eating their own children. That's how serious this time is, sisters and brothers. And we're right here in it. And those people who are supposed to be your lights and guidance are deceiving you, robbing you. So we have to understand that these are your enemies. Sisters and brothers, they're not telling you that you're getting out of here. They're not telling you about your vision, which is the Abrahamic covenant. They are, in fact, your enemies, sisters and brothers. And our only way out of here, sisters and brothers, is our unity, us coming together through the Abrahamic covenant. Sisters and brothers, the 5 mathematical pillars of Islam, sisters and brothers, that is, in fact, your nature. Because we have to understand that their reality is coming to an end, right? And spring is coming. Now we have to understand that global warming is not bad for you and me, because we're spring people. But it's bad for their reality because they're winter people. They thrive in the winter. And what happens when the sun comes out? And you're in winter, right? And snow and ice, right? That means things are starting to melt, right? And that's exactly why they fear global warming, because their reality is melting, right? And they do not thrive in the spring, but you do, sisters and brothers. And this is what they don't tell you, sisters and brothers. Why? This is why they're fighting to keep their reality going, because they know that their hell is approaching. Our heaven is their hell, and our heaven is coming in, sisters and brothers. They cannot stop how the universe works. They cannot stop the seasons from coming in. After winter becomes spring, sisters and brothers. So this is their attempt to stop the spring from coming in, but they cannot, sisters and brothers. And in order for us to thrive in the spring, it's through our nature, sisters and brothers. We've been in the winter, sisters and brothers, for so long. We have to understand that we have to thaw out, right? Like I said, this stuff is not in us; it's on us. It's in them. It's in their demon children. It's in them, because that's who they are. But it's not on us. But it's not in us. It's on us, because we've been here for so long, right? So before we return to our heaven, right, we have to get rid of this devil's mind, right? And upload our mind, upload our nature, sisters and brothers, because that's how you will be successful in the spring, sisters and brothers. So, like I shared, our protection during this time will be our unity, Hajj, us coming together, which was they taught us to separate from each other as well. So this is going to be a very big challenge for us. However, this is our only protection, sisters and brothers, during this time. So this is something that we're going to have to come to the standard of, sisters and brothers, Hajj, right? Us, one body, understanding that we need each other. If one is hurting, we all hurting. If one part of the body is hurt, then we're all hurt. Sisters and brothers, so we have to understand that we all are one and we all need each other. And through that, we will do exploits, sisters and brothers. So we will do exploits. We will come together as a mighty nation. And that's exactly what the scripture says as well, which they feared, sisters and brothers. They feared that. They feared the rise of the black man and woman. Now we have to understand that we're also, during this time, we'll be getting our minds back. And the Injil, right? The Revelations is the mind that you're going to have to upload to in order to return to your home, sisters and brothers, your heaven. Because we have to understand that is, I forgot the point I was trying to make.
The mind for
Yeah, that's a mind for the times, sisters and brothers. That's the standard that you're going to have to, upload and come to defeat these devils in their reality, in their mind, right? Because it is, in fact, beyond their level of thinking, right? And that's exactly what we need to be, right? So we have to understand that we are going to be that higher pressure, right? And higher pressure defeats lower pressure, sisters and brothers. And everything's mathematics, right? So higher will be that higher pressure. And they're going to be defeated, sisters and brothers. And they're going to be coming at us with all their winter weapons, and they're not going to prevail, sisters and brothers. It said, no weapon formed against us will prosper. And the only weapons that they have is their winter weapons. And we're out of the winter. They're coming out of that time, and they won't prevail, sisters and brothers. And we have to understand that we control the atmosphere. We control the weather, sisters and brothers. And the weather is way more powerful than their guns, knives, and bombs, and atomic bombs, sisters and brothers. And we control that. So we have to understand that we are the best planners, and they will not succeed in their attempt to wipe us out, sisters and brothers. So with that, unless Brother David had anything else to add,
Oh man, we covered it.
we're gonna bring this to a close, and we'll be back with more. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.